It is a wind parade out here in LA right now, boy. Sheesh. What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? But man, it is cold. It is windy out here in LA. It is windy. And you gotta have a music that mimics the sounds of nature. So I had to play some wind parade. I had to. It's so windy out here. I had to play that wind parade. A wind parade. Get the Places and Spaces album by Donald Byrd, man. I love this album. This whole album. Man, that is some music right there. Don't that sound like some music to you? This album sounds like that's the Mizell Brothers production, Blue Note Records. That album sound like the wind, don't it? It's like when it gets real windy outside, I play that album because it just feels like nature. Anyway, everybody, welcome. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for joining. Though the Mizell Brothers production, Donald Byrd, that was a lot of your B-sides for hip hop. And it really bothered me that when Donald Byrd died, I think that was 2014 or 15, nobody in hip hop gave up any kind of credit for nothing. You didn't hear Pete Rock say nothing, all of Donald Byrd he sampled. But that's another topic. Welcome, chat. What's up, Ben? What's up, Mogul Maze? Emmanuel, James C. Appreciate all y'all for joining. This is all to support the Black American Music Family Tree Historical Foundation, where we talk about multiple topics, music, and also culture. And I saw this video today on Twitter, and then said, let me talk about this. So we're gonna talk about this this white woman that gave the Latina cop that was being racist her wake-up call. We're gonna talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the difference between a group and a band. There are people on Twitter today tagging Tariq in what I posted about New Edition trying to start controversy between black men. Before we go there, let's get very clear. Black men can have different points of views on things and still be all right. Y'all don't have to go around just because I say this and Tariq say that. Ooh, look at what he said about that one. Shut up. Everybody got their right to think how the hell they want to think without some weirdos jumping in the middle saying, ooh, look at what he said. Don't bring that nonsense around my channel, okay? Don't do it. You dig what I'm saying? Don't do it. We ain't doing that. This is not that kind of party, all right? But we're going to talk about the difference between a group and a band because a lot of people don't know the difference between a group and a band. And I got to realize that it's a lot of y'all, especially if you're under really my age, honestly. A lot of times, I'm 44. My age group falls within this category too because a lot of that stuff changed up by the time we came up. But we're going to get the difference between what's a group and what's a band. If you're under 40 and only listen to pop music, you probably don't understand the difference. But anyway, what's up, DJ Lundy, C. Vesey, Sherelle Bryant? Thank y'all all for joining. But I'm not going to be here long because also we're going to talk about, we're going to do TikTok tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to do a TikTok tonight because I want to hear y'all opinion on the New Edition debate. What we talking about today between a band and a group. We're going to talk about all that tonight on TikTok. So I want y'all to join in TikTok, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 9 Central, 10 East Coast. I'm gonna be there with Ish from I've done TikTok lives with her before. She's dope as hell. Ishmael. She's very popular over on Twitter. But she has a very unique, amazing mind when it comes to music. So I enjoyed having music conversations with her over on TikTok. So that's what we're gonna be talking about on TikTok later today. So get ready for that, all right? So yeah, thanks for tuning in. So let's break this down because I'm not gonna be here all day. I got a few things to talk about. We're gonna start with this right here. I saw this video and I want y'all to watch it. I want y'all to watch it. Let me play some music in the background. I want y'all to watch this video and listen to this white lady speak kind of how we all know. Then Bismarck T, you a fool. He said, total wake up call. You niggas are stupid. But let's watch this and see what she has to say.
And again, another one bites the dust. How many videos am I going to have to make to tell you if you don't look like me, but you think because you're not black, it's not going to happen to you? It's going to happen to you. And the irony is your proximity to whiteness is never going to save you, and the call is always going to come from inside the house. Let's not forget that just a week and a half ago, they found a 19-year-old Latino boy hanging outside of a police department in Washington, D.C. We will never like you. We will never accept you. We will use you. We will abuse you. And then we will toss you aside. She's a dead woman walking. If she'll get drunk and get on Instagram on somebody else's page and talk like this, do you imagine what she says within the police department with other officers? So now they're thinking if she'll yap, she'll yap. So we need to worry about that. We'll never protect you. We'll never choose you. And you are not safe with us.
God damn. Shit. Did y'all see that? Y'all see that? Woo! Make it plain. What do we talk about here on this very channel? This is the year that it's exposure. It's people are tired of playing, you know? That's why Elon Musk was comfortable doing the Nazi salute. Although he spent his time on Twitter the last year and a half trying to walk it back. He was comfortable for a reason. Doing that Nazi salute. Just never forget Elon Musk's Nazi salute. People are tired of hiding, you know? People are tired of faking. You dig? And so what I want to do is I want to break this video down line by line, and then we're gonna talk about it. All right? Let's start back. Let's go back to the beginning.
And again, another one bites the dust. How many videos am I going to have to make to tell you if you don't look like me, but you think because you're not black, it's not going to happen to you? It's going to happen to you. And the irony...
What does she mean by not look like me? Meaning, yes, we both have white or light skin, but you're not an Anglo. See, this is what the Latinos don't get. The Anglo whites see you as double Negro. Let's break that down. They understand that the indigenous people of Mexico are Negroids. Okay? They know that you guys have an abuela. 1, 2, 3 generations back. Your grandmama looked like Nell Carter. They understand that. The reason why I say double Negro is because they understand that the Spanish are the ones who colonized your homelands. And the Spanish are not considered Anglo whites. They're considered Negroes too, because of the heavy Moorish blood inside the Spanish. The reason you speak, you come what they call, you come from the Spain is the former land of Al Andalus. Those Negro Moors, the people who built those castles in Spain, the people who Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand linked up to push out in 1492. But that admixture of Spanish blood is deeply Negroid. The Anglos understand this. So your colonizer, they understand that your colonizer is Negroid and the colonizee is Negroid. And they understand that you spent the last couple hundred years doing your best to whiten the race. But to a woman that looks like her, you ain't did enough. You ain't did enough. What's up, Cold Crush? They understand that. So although within Mexico you might be white, within Mexico, within America, within Mexican society, you're the preferred because you're lighter skinned within Mexican society. The people you're trying to be and sound like don't respect it. This goes for everybody that tries to be white adjacent. Let's keep going.
Is your proximity to whiteness is never going to save you, and the call is always going to come from inside the house. Let's not forget that just a week and a half ago, they found a 19-year-old.
When she said the call is always going to come from inside the house, what that means is when it's time to pull your card, it won't be a black person pulling it.
Call is always going to come from inside the house to you. And the irony is your proximity to whiteness is never going to save you, and the call is always going to come from inside the house.
Meaning the call is going to come from the people you're trying to impress. The call is going to come from the people you're trying to impress is what she means by when she says that. People like you who are overtly racist, you're dangerous. White supremacy learned during the civil rights movement that when you move like this, you're dangerous to everybody because black people then get on alert. White society, the people with the white supremacist mindset understand that racism works best in the silent, in the dark. It works best in silence. When people get loud, they get dangerous for business. You're a danger when you're loud like this. Let's keep going.
Let's not forget that just a week and a half ago, they found a 19-year-old Latino boy hanging outside of a police department in Washington, D.C.
I didn't know about that.
We will never like you. We will never accept you. We will use you. We will abuse you. And then we'll...
Let me go back. We will never like you. We will never accept you. We will use you and abuse you. Let's listen to that part again.
We will never like you. We will never accept you. We will use you. We will abuse you. And then we'll toss you aside.
Ain't that what Professor Black Truthsar says? White supremacy, when it's done with its tools, it breaks them. We will never like you. Gonzalez. They're saying they will never like you. Rosales. We will use you, meaning you will be a buffer class. We will let you do the dirty work so we don't get our hands dirty. We will abuse you. That means we'll call ICE when we're tired of you. That's what that means. We will use you. Translation, you do the dirty work. You get your hands dirty so we can stay on our white side of town. We will make you, we tired of being the face of racism and criminality. We're going to use you and let you do it because we know at the end of the day you want to be us. And so you will do whatever you think it takes to make us happy and to impress us. And what she's saying is, we will most definitely use you. 100,000% we'll use you is what she's saying. She's saying we'll abuse you. We'll kick your ass is what she's saying. We'll send ice. But then when we're done having fun with you, we will toss you aside. That's what the mulatto Negroes had to learn about 100 years ago. See, the reason why black people, we taught this because we've gone through this ourselves. Like the mulattoes, you're no different than how the mulattoes were used 150 years ago, 100 years ago. And low-key, kind of still now in some ways. Just not as bad as 100 years ago. The mulattoes figured out, okay, you helped sell the Negroes out. But after a generation or so, you ended up living in the same neighborhood right next to the niggas you helped selling out. That's what mulattoes figured out. And that's what y'all figuring it out now. This woman's telling the whole truth.
She's a dead woman walking. If she'll get drunk and get on Instagram on somebody else's page and talk like this, do you imagine what she says within the police department with other officers? So now they're thinking if she'll yap, she'll yap. So we
know what that means? If she'll yap, she'll yap. Meaning, if all it takes is a couple beers for you to lose your cool to the point to where you lose your job, you'll do the same thing when it comes to the secrets of the police. That's what she means by you're a dead woman walking. The police officers have a lot of dirt to cover up. The police they do a lot of dirt. They do a lot of BS. The police have to know when they do their BS, because it's for sure coming. They have to know when they do their BS, everyone's going to stay silent and stay on code. You running around here talking like this lets them know that, hey, we might not be able to do our shit around her. Because she's over here talking about how she arrested somebody and beat somebody up. Bitch, you ain't beat nobody up. You ain't beat a motherfucking thing up. But for you to get on IG and talk all that shit about you grabbing somebody's hair and beating them up, you will do the same when your partners do what they do. Okay? And they understand that. You're not good for business.
We need to worry about that. We'll never protect you. We'll never choose you. And you are not safe with us.
We will never choose you. And you're not safe. You're not safe because you're a danger. You are a danger to them. You're too loud. I'm trying to find this other video. Here it is. White supremacy don't like loud. It even does the same thing with his own. Did y'all see this dude right here?
Just wait for that. Shimping out. You want to go viral? You're gonna be.
Let me see here. Just kick this dude off right here. This guy. He had a video. Chud the Hunter, I think his name is. This video right here.
Gay low-key.
We'll count to 3. I'm being nice right now.
White supremacy understands that it has to operate in silence. And you're going to continue, even white supremacists who are Anglo or Anglo-looking, close enough. He's not full Anglo, but he's more Anglo-looking than the Latina lady. They understand you can't be loud. Look at this.
Free man who's probably gay and needs to get some help.
What's that?
Gay low-key.
We'll count to 3. I'm being nice right now. That's right there, cross. That's free.
You're trying to tell me this isn't a public easement?
I stay right here.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay, well, move there.
Keep yourself. Don't chimp out.
All right.
Mind you, chimping out is their way of calling you a monkey, black people.
Look at him chimping out. Be a good boy. You heard me. Dumbass nigger. You heard me.
I'm glad that brother didn't lose his cool, because you can't allow no degenerate, no fake white herb looking motherfucker like this to get you fired from your job.
You want to say it again? I'll walk you over here so you can.
No, I'm good.
Y'all saw the white woman? She said, if you want to say it again, I'll walk you back. Look how much of a bitch this dude is. He said it walking away, and look at the white woman check him.
You want to say it again? I'll walk you over here so you can.
No, I'm good. We're live. Don't touch me, lady. I already said it to his face. Dumbass nigger.
See y'all?
Get mogged.
Free man who's probably gay and needs to get some help.
What's that?
Gay low-key.
But you see how he got kicked off of Kick. You can't be loud, man. And when I see guys like this is some history that we gotta talk about, black people. This is something that I was talking about the other day on my Facebook page. Piece of American history that's often overlooked. From 1860 to 1839, there was a whole train system distributing orphans throughout the Midwest. During the orphan train movement, there were so many orphans in America that they were essentially mailing little white kids across the country. Think I'm lying? Here it is. This is an actual advertisement from 1910. Homes for children. There's a whole epidemic of white children that didn't have homes. They literally created child labor laws because these kids were getting the jobs and outworking the adults. Child labor laws don't come from protecting children. Child labor laws were created to protect adults from children taking their jobs. We never talk about, at the same time, see, look, these are the orphan trains. Look at all those kids. You remember shows like The Little Rascals? Hell, even one of my favorite movies of all time, Citizen Kane. Kane was an orphan. Those stories about the stork. You had train systems that moved these kids around. Where were the parents? The big cities just started having all these kids appear out of nowhere. Where were the parents? I'm not taking phone calls. Matter of fact, let me close out of Zoom. I ain't know Zoom was open. Where were the parents? And the next question is this. Are these like when you think about all the lynchings that happened during this time, when you think about Red Summer 1919 and all the black towns that were turned down, when you think about how many people they killed in Wilmington, were these the children? Were these the adults that grew up as orphans? All those fatherless and motherless children, what happened to them? Are these the people that burned down Black Wall Street? And when you see dudes like this degenerate, was his granddaddy one of those orphans?
You look a little drunk.
Like, think about
America.
this.
But why?
Nobody with any kind of sanity.
Listen now. Be a good boy. You heard me.
Look at him.
Dumbass nigger.
The only way you can have that level of hate in your heart is if you weren't raised by your parents. You was shipped and mailed across the country. Your granddaddy was born in some damn incubator somewhere and mailed to Chicago, mailed to Milwaukee, mailed to St. Louis. And you were raised by people who were basically doing it because they had no other, because they couldn't have a kid of their own, but they didn't really love you. They wanted labor. They had farms. You were raised by somebody who had farms. And they had some mail order children to help them work on these farms in the Midwest. And that's who raised dudes like this person right here. So what I'm saying, what we need to do is we need to reframe the argument. When we're looking at a lot of these degenerates, this isn't all white Americans. This is not all white Americans, not by any stretch. But they did say that at one point there were over 250,000 of these orphans. Maybe it's not all white people. Maybe it's just the ones that descend from these orphans. You ever think about that? Especially when you think about the people who always say, oh, you guys have fatherless. There's no fatherlessness. People love to project, don't they? Where are the parents? Where are the two-parent households? We black Americans in the 80s and the 90s had to hear all this shit without ever correlating. The people that said that stuff were probably raised by orphans. And this is not an indictment on all white people by any stretch of the imagination. But it is asking a question on the history of America. It's asking a question on cause and effect. Who are these people and where do they come from? Hinder Sonic, you said you asked Google and it said that there were laws created. Salute to Hinder Sonic. Hinder Sonic is one of my day ones. Hinder Sonic been around since shit. I think Hinder Sonic, have you been around since like 2021? Since like when I first started this channel. Salute to you, my brother. But Hinder Sonic says, I Googled it, said there were laws created to help kids because of dangerous work conditions. I said, well, somebody said it was to combat them from taking jobs, adult jobs, and Google's AI said it's right. Yeah, I never AI'd it. That's just something that I learned in college. Like, through the American education system, you're going to learn things linearly, like in a linear fashion. American education doesn't connect one to the other. You learn these things, but you learn them in vacuums. You don't learn that this piece of knowledge correlates to that bit of knowledge. That's something American education makes you do on your own. See, I learned about the labor laws in college. I have a liberal arts degree, and one of my professors, we were talking about, it was my debate class. And this is 25 years ago, like 25 years ago. And my professor was like, yeah, no, labor laws. And I did some work on that in college 25 years ago. I was like, oh, so labor laws come from too many children that had to work? And I never thought about it again. And then, like I said, a few months ago, I'm watching Voodoo Doll's channel, and Voodoo Doll brings up the orphan trains. And I remember even learning about the orphan trains back in my college years. But you don't really put two and two together, you know what I mean? So after watching Voodoo's channel and her bring up the orphan trains, I started doing my own research on it. And then as I'm doing my own research, it just kind of hit my mind. Like, damn, these orphan trains were prominent 1896, 1899. So if these ads for orphans that I'm reading from 1899 have these 2 and 3 year old orphans, and Red Summer was 1919, that means these 3, 4, 5-year-old orphans, 6-year-old orphans, 7-year-old orphans, they were 20, 25, 26, 30 when Red Summer hit, 1919, when all those black towns got burned down. And a lot of those black towns are in the Midwest that got burned down. Could there be a correlation between the two? My assumption is yes. But at the same time, I know that I cannot expect white media to draw that correlation. I cannot expect a European education system to draw that correlation. That's where we have to use our own thinking caps and draw the correlations ourselves. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of orphans. Lots and lots and lots and lots of violence. And these are the same people who are always, the thing that they always put on black people is, you guys don't have fathers. You guys don't have community. You guys. So it made me think, okay, maybe they're hell-bent on us not having fathers because they didn't have fathers? Not everybody. Not all white people. I'm talking about the ones who are these orphan train kids. You're right. They don't have family reunions. They don't really have repat. Look at this. I'm gonna show y'all this video. This some bullshit my wife was watching yesterday. I was like, text me this video so I can show it on my show. I wasn't even thinking about it till just now. Let me airdrop this video to my let me airdrop this video. I just hit it. Let me put it right here. Let me go to my YouTube. And let me go to my history. Here we go. Watch this.
I know
I didn't even realize that we have a funeral culture, a repast culture. I'm watching this video and I'm just sitting out loud. Hold on. White folks don't have repasses?
And I really hope what I'm about to say is not going to get me canceled. Please don't cancel me. But when the time comes that I take my last breath on this earth and my soul has left my body and gone to a better place, I want a black funeral.
What's up, True Savior?
White people have funerals, black people have celebrations of life. White people, Jason done died Monday evening. They done put Jason's body in the ground by Tuesday morning. They back at work by Wednesday. It's a 3-day process. Black people, we got to put the body on ice for 2 weeks because we got family members everywhere across the USA. So we got to get everybody's schedule so we can plan this right, so we can all be there at the same time.
White people, come to the front. Come to the front. Front and center. Come to the front. Come to the front. Y'all don't have repasses after y'all attend a funeral?
So, no, we don't.
Hi guys, my name is Messi and you're welcome back to the channel. I came
They
across
don't have repasses. Look, I'm trying to go to what. Let me fast forward to that. Listen to what she had to say. Listen to this.
I know I'm white, and I really hope what I'm about to say is not going to get me canceled. Please don't cancel me. But when the time comes that I feel like every white funeral I've gone to has been really are missing out. And I'm gonna, and if you don't know what I mean by I want a black funeral, then you really are missing out. And I'm gonna explain it. First of all, I feel like every white funeral I've gone to has been like the person passes away on Monday and the funeral's on Wednesday. Or, you know, it's some random day in the middle of the week, like immediately following the death. Like, no. I need y'all to give my friends at least 7 to 10 days notice. I need to die on a Monday and y'all tell them we're gonna throw down next Saturday. Be there, be square. Second of all, this right here is the extent of anything I've been given walking into a white funeral. Like, it has a nice Lord's Prayer on one page and a name and a birth date and a death date. Very simple. But like this is the kind of stuff I need. Like, and this is just the front and the back page. Like, there's always 20 pages in between. Messages from your mama and your grandma and your aunties and like your cousins. Like, everybody sends you messages and it tells your whole life story. I mean, this thing is like a biography.
Listen to how impressed they are with a black funeral. Like, I thought all this stuff was standard, but apparently in their culture it's not.
I need all 282 of my selfies that I've taken go for some good and be put on a book. Put me in the clouds that has screaming, panic attacks. Just all black funeral is so, just nothing else touches it. Some flying doves at the graveside service would be.
As I listen to this, it's like, let me say this one here.
That are coming here, like, is this So no, we don't. I have to tell you something funny. When I first started dating my husband, and then right after we got married, he had a family member that passed away. And we were at the funeral home taking care of some things and stuff. And his uncle, who is super country, was like, yeah, we have to go to repast. You know, we have to get the food. We got to get everything, tables, chairs. We got to make sure we have pastor, you know, the pamphlets. Like we got to get it all taken care of. So I'm listening. And he says, repass again. So then on the way home, I asked my husband, I said, baby, who is repass? Like, I haven't met this person yet. Like, is it a family?
She thought repass was a person.
Remember that lives somewhere else and like that are coming here? Like, is this person like super like big in this family? Like, who is this person? So he looks at me and he was like, just like she did. You know, white people, y'all don't have repasses. And I said, what? And he says, baby, that's the gathering after the funeral. I said, oh, a reception? He said, no, we called a repass. I said, I thought repass was a person. Like, I thought it was somebody's nickname. You know, I'm dying. So now, of course, I know.
It shows you right here how culturally different we are. America truly is. My wife was watching this. I was like, what the fuck are you watching? And I was just like, we truly are segregated in this country and live in completely different worlds. Because, chat room, y'all like me? I thought everybody had a repast. Like, I know some white folks, but I never really went to their funerals like that. Like, I went to one funeral, but he was a Jewish guy. And so I just figured that was a Jewish thing. Like, he was one of my business mentors, somebody who really got a hold of me at a young age and taught me business. Al, he's a Jewish guy, and we were very close when he lived. Made some of my best investments through him, and so when he died, his was the first Jewish funeral I went through, and I noticed the lack of money that they spent, and Al was buried in a wooden box. They need, like, we have these caskets, these plush caskets with pillows and all this stuff. Al, when he died, Al was worth millions. When I say millions, I mean millions, all right? He used to own a loan company, so that tell you how much money he was worth. And the family was worth. His son, his wife, all of them got millions of dollars, live in Palos Verdes. But when he was buried, I ain't never seen a wooden casket. The only time I've seen a wooden casket was watching wrestling with The Undertaker. Y'all remember The Undertaker? They had the casket match? Who remembers The Undertaker versus Yokozuna and the casket match they had in 96? The Undertaker casket match was the only time I had ever seen a wooden casket. I'm like, this dude worth all these millions of dollars and that casket cost $10. I could have made that casket in wood shop. And then when the funeral was over, it was just over. There was no... But I just figured, okay, that was probably maybe a Jewish thing. I had some people I knew that were white that died. I just didn't go to their funerals. I thought everybody had a repass.
What it is, and I tell other people about it, and it was the most beautiful thing because the whole family was together. We were all cutting up, enjoying ourselves, celebrating the person that had passed. So no, we don't have repasses.
We gonna have a funeral this Saturday.
They don't have free passes. Some of the best fried chicken you ever gonna eat is at a repass. Come on now. Matter of fact, one of my wife's family members, they had a funeral not too long ago, repass. Man, she brought home, like, I didn't go to the repass part. And my wife brought on all this good ass fried fish, and I was like, God damn. People who be cooking the repast fried fish and the repast chicken, them is the best chefs on earth. I don't care what nobody says. Black folks, we got so much culture. Our culture bleeds through us and we don't even know it. We just assume other people do what we do. Things like family reunions. There are 4 family reunions this coming summer for me. I got my dad's mom's side that's having a family reunion. I got my mom's side, the Roberts family reunion in Indiana. They're having their 104th annual family reunion on the township that my family founded in the 1830s. They're having a 104th in a row family reunion. My wife's family on her mom's side is having a family reunion. And my mom's side on her dad's side is having a family reunion. And all these 4 family reunions are happening within 2 weeks of each other. And I'm like, damn. We got so much culture bleeding through us. And these folks, going back to this Latina lady, the white supremacists understood that black people, when you leave us alone, we leave you alone. We've been asleep for how long now? Since the civil rights movement of the 60s. We ain't really been tripping. Cause they learned to shut up and back up. And just leave us alone, you know? When we know that there's a fight, we fight. That'd be the biggest thing with us. We be chilling because we don't be knowing it's a fight. Like not all of us, but too many of us. Like all them black folks still going around talking about some black and brown. The lady who was arguing with this cop, she knows that, all right, you keep talking like this, them niggas gonna stop saying black and brown. They gonna come for your ass. They understand that. So this isn't about them acknowledging, a white person acknowledged we have repass. And it's ain't about them. It's about us. This is about us understanding from within that we have a very, very, very strong culture that we need to protect. We have an extremely proud and profound culture. And the depths of our culture is so deep that we're swimming in it and we don't even know it. All right? All right? That switches us to our next topic. Hell yeah, LA turned up at the Rodney King. Especially here in LA. LA folks be chilling, but when it's an imminent threat, man, please. See, one thing that doesn't get talked about here in LA is a lot of the paramilitary action that goes on that's not on the news between the streets and law enforcement. Because we don't fuck around. But let's get to the next topic. The difference between a group and a band. And I think I'm talking more about this later on TikTok. We're going to talk about some music on this. I put out a post the other day, and going what I was saying earlier, I be getting these weirdos, man. Y'all be people be looking for controversy and shit. I put up my opinion on New Edition last week. I put out my opinion on my opinion on New Edition. And then I reposted a post yesterday where I was talking about New Edition. And I was saying, no, they're not one of the greatest groups of all time. Let's calm that down. Let's calm that down. They're not. But one thing that kept coming up was people conflating a group versus a band. So I want to lay this out for y'all real fast. I want to lay this out. I want to talk about this. What's the difference between a group and a band? Chat room. I need y'all to help me with this. I appreciate that, Tammy Dorsey. The music I played last night, yeah, that music got my ass demonetized. I kept the video up, but I'm editing the music out that video as we speak, so I can keep it up. I need to go on Patreon and do a deeper one, so I just play the music all the way through. But chat room, what's the difference between a group and a band? MC, a band plays instruments. That is the main difference. Focus on vocal versus instruments. Right. Derrick Henry. Right. Somebody said blacks in California thought that they were cool. No, Toby, blacks in California never thought we were cool. California black people are the most ardent and aware of racial issues. That's why the Black Panthers come out of California. All right? So let's break this down. New Edition is a group. Parliament Funkadelic is a band. Now, Parliament started out as a group. They were originally, the original Parliament singers were a doo-wop group. And they had some hits, not hits, but they had some songs at Motown. But they eventually grew into a band when Eddie Hazel, Bernie Worrell, Bootsy, and those guys joined. A band plays instruments. Why is this important? I've been seeing a lot of talk going around online. And if we as Black Americans don't understand our sound, how in the hell can we expect others to do right by us? We have to do right by ourselves before we expect others to do right by us. We can't be running around here not knowing the difference between a band and a group. If the black folks don't know the difference between a band and a group, what in the hell is going to happen with everybody else when they come to us? We got to be on point with our creations. Yeah, Soul Train was in LA. Yeah. The bands were bands like Parliament, Confunction, Slave, the Ohio Players. The bands focus on the instrumentation, playing the sounds with a lead singer out front, the Commodores. Oftentimes the band switched lead singers like Switch. Groups like Switch, some that sang, they did everything. They sang and played instruments. Earth and Fire sang and played instruments. Philip Bailey was a percussionist and lead singer. Maurice White was a drummer and lead singer. The lead singer of Slave was Steve Arrington, the drummer. We got to know the difference. And like I was saying in my live, we can't shortchange the group thing. Part of the reason why when I was talking about New Edition, and when people were trying to say, okay, they're the greatest group of all time, we can't do that, people. We can't do that to our groups. We can't just say, okay, I like this group's music, so they're the greatest of all time. We have to be very honest, and we have to look at our music history genuinely. The groups are that's one of the greatest advents that we created in our sound. The group dynamic started out of the church. It started as the gospel quartet. Then it went into the barbershop quartet. And if you're dealing with the Black American culture of the 1950s, 40s, and 60s, that's when you had groups of black men and black women standing under a street light, singing and harmonizing and dancing. That's where that culture comes from. And the greatest era for that culture is the 1960s and the 1970s. Everything from K-pop to New Kids on the Block comes and is a direct copy, carbon copy, of what Black America was doing in the 60s and the 70s. And I'm going to write an article pretty soon on Incense and Ashtrays about all the great doo-wop bands of that time. But we as a people, we got to know our culture, and we got to know our culture in and out. We got to know what we created. Because the only way to preserve our history, preserve our legacy and the things that we created is if we tell the story. We have to own the knowledge. And Black America has a lot of catching up to do, because a lot of the greatest books written on Black American music comes from England and the UK. These people have been studying us for a long time. Books written out of Brazil in the 1920s about our music. A lot of our music, when I'm dealing with Black music from the 1800s, I'm dealing with publications from Europe and other parts of the world that have been studying us for a long time, because the United States of America, they study us. They just don't publish with their findings when it comes to our culture. The people who publish their findings when it comes to our culture generally come out of the UK, France, Germany. Germany, if you want Black American music history, the best Black American music history right now comes from Germany. Germany got music that we ain't never heard. Albums that were never released here in America got released in Germany. And thank God for Google Translate, because I'm able to now read a lot of those German books in English because of Google Translate. We as a culture, we're very far behind when it comes to understanding our music history. That's why I salute the True Savior for putting it out there. I salute the brothers and the sisters that are putting it out there, because we have a lot of catching up to do. We can't talk about what the white man is doing. We can't talk about what the tether is doing if we first don't understand what we did and what we do. Who's on Twitter? I mean, who's on what do you call it? TikTok. We're gonna be going more in depth with this on TikTok later on. Yeah, Mint Condition is a band. Jodeci is a group. Right. We are very, very, very behind. But at the same time, and I love New Edition. I don't want to rehash what I talked about last night and before. But with love and respect to New Edition, they don't cut it when it comes to the greatest bands, the greatest groups, vocal groups that we put together. Because vocal groups are about the harmony. They're about the lyrics. They're about really elevating our spirit and soul, and about the perfection. And those weren't things, that's something that New Edition, great music, I mean, great hits. They were a great group for the time. But as a culture, I really encourage people to get into where we come from musically. You got to go beyond the 80s. You got to go beyond the 90s. We have to understand this thing very, very, very clear as Black people. There's music pre-1979 and post-1980. Our music got stepped on in the 80s. When you're dealing with Black American music post-1979, you're dealing with something that isn't natural. You're dealing with something that was put on us, not something that we created voluntarily. Our whole system of making music got destroyed in the 80s. And it continued to get destroyed through the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. When we're dealing with 80s music and beyond, we're dealing with lack of vocal harmonies, lack of live instruments, lack of the things that it takes to put genuine soul music together. That's why I got to go to my Patreon. I have these playlists. When you go to the 60s, you know, you got to deal with the Chicago sound, Lost Generation, the Shy Lights, the originals, and get into that music and learn the essence of what our sound really sounds like. Songs like the songs with a message. Beware, young girl. You got to watch out for the sly, the slick, and the wicked.
And say it's all your fault. Beware, young girl.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear them four voices sounding like one?
You've got to look out, look out, look out, baby, baby, oh yeah. Hold on to your one way till you get.
There was this magic of that era and that sound. And this is the era and sound that pushed us through civil rights. This is the era and sound that pushed us through going front, that took us, that kept our heads held up high. The group sound, the group dynamic, that was with us through some of our most trying times in American history. And it's a major element that we're missing right now in our music. We could use our music. We really do need our group harmonies right now. What we don't need if groups get back together is Candy Girl, however. We don't need Candy Girl. We don't need that. We need our groups to sing messages that deliver us through what we're going through. Like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. We have to understand that we live in a system that targeted this sound. And they targeted this sound because of what it does for us. There's a one-to-one correlation in the group dynamic and how it lifts our emotions and our spirit. Just look at this album cover. I remember my dad had this album. I used to just stare at this album cover when I was a kid. I used to stare at this album cover. The black man, this Harold Melvin, Wake Up Everybody. Just look at this album cover right here. Man of Nature. And out of this album came one of the most important songs in Black American history.
Up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking.
The group dynamic was a tool. It's a tool. It's a tool used to wake us up. Not just party. But it's a tool used to wake us up. And we can party with it too. We don't just, I mean, like, if you want to listen to one of the first disco song, one of the earliest disco songs that laid floor on the floor, we also partied to message music through our groups. Y'all heard this song on Next Friday. This is on the Next Friday soundtrack, Bad Luck. This song is talking about bad luck, losing your wife, losing your woman, losing your home.
Yes, sir. Bad love.
5 voices coming together singing as one to party to music that's also at the same time delivering us. When you get to the music past the 80s, you missing that main ingredient of the sound. That's the deliverance of dealing with our current condition. The OJs. We've got a message in our music. We've got a message in our music. This is what our groups give us. And they give us, everything ain't on the up and up. The groups also give us some good cheating music too, you know? I'm not here to sit like everybody was innocent. You know, you had Kiss and Say Goodbye by the Manhattans. The Manhattans made some of the greatest cheat music of all time. Talking about saying goodbye. You've been singing, you've been meeting with this woman for so long. Y'all got to get back to your own relationships.
Stay together. I want to hold.
Just one last time. The deep voice. Who in New Edition had the deep voice like Blue for the Manhattans?
Look back.
I want to hold you one last time. You know, you had songs like, let me see, where'd it go? I Wish That You Were Mine.
Wait, could we have
this song here talking about, damn, this nigga's meeting with his he meet with a girl, he meeting with his homeboy girlfriend and talking about getting with his homegirl boy girlfriend. I'm not saying it was all pure. It was some bullshit too. But 5 and 4 and 3 black men and women getting together and singing in one voice, that's something that was intentionally corrupted by the music industry. So when New Edition comes along, get rid of the harmonies, get rid of the messages. Just make it teeny bop. And I'm not blaming New Edition. This is the record industry doing this. This is New Edition doing this. These are decisions that the record industry is making for what they're going to put out. And the groups had a distinctly different thing than the bands. While the groups focused on harmony and messaging within the music, you had the bands. And I want to pull up this video from Herbie Hancock. Let me see if I can find it. I think I just posted it in my stories and it's gone. I don't think it's still here. Let me see. Hopefully it's still in my stories. It's not in my stories anymore. God damn it. But it was a story that I had put up about Herbie Hancock. And Herbie Hancock talking about the funk era got a lot of black folks paid. Because the band was all about expressing yourself through your root chakra and dancing and putting the message in the groove. Putting the message in the groove. Songs like Pop It. One Way is a group, a band. What y'all know about this? Pop, what you got? What y'all know about this? The bands woke up your root chakra. They got you to move and dance away your issues. That's stone groove right there. The groups gave us that. You dig what I'm saying? The groups came and told us what the rhythm it takes to dance to what we have to live through. Y'all thought that was rapping Forte. With the rhythm it takes to dance to what you got to live through. Let's go get to that part. This is the bands did.
You can dance underwater and not get wet.
That's you can dance underwater and not get wet. That's what the bands brought us. The bands told us what the rhythm it takes to dance to what we have to live through. The bands have put the message in the groove and the lyrics. The bands told us we are one nation under groove. That's the groups. I mean, that's the bands right there. Different functions, same root culture. Different functions, but with the same cultural roots. And you got to go to pre-1979 to get it in its purest form. Again, no disrespect to New Edition, Bobby Brown, BBD, and none of them. But you're not going to get pure black music post-1980. You're just not. Sorry. You might have grown up on it and you might love it, and that's cool too. Love what you love. But this isn't my opinion. This is just a fact. And if you want to know more about it, go to my Patreon and you'll get how I broke it down in 5 episodes, how black music was destroyed. It was a systematic destruction of our sound. And the only way you're going to get a pure version of our sound done at the highest level is if you go before 1979. That's just what it is. And we cannot, because we feel a certain way about the music we grew up on, dismiss what happened before 1979. Like 1963 to 79, that's when we had Motown. When we were under Stax, Stax was letting us do all the work without them too much input. You still had Chess Records going. You had Brunswick, Mercury Records. The Ozzy Brothers were self-produced. Frankie Beverly Mays was self-produced. Motown. You had this era where our music was produced the way we wanted it produced. Live and with a message. Even if the message was just, you need to dance. Sometimes the message was just to dance. But y'all know about this. Sometimes it was just about dancing. No message, but it made you groove. What y'all know about this song right here? Shit, goddamn. Get off your ass and jam. Shit, goddamn. Get off your ass and jam. What? Sometimes I'm not saying everything had to be deep. I'm not saying everything had to be deep. You know, there was dissing back then too. Yeah. Everybody funking and don't know how. You should have seen the bull when he funked the cow. What y'all know about the original diss song, Let's Take It to the Stage? What y'all know about that?
Everybody funkin' and don't know how. They should have seen the bull when he funked the cow. He funked it so hard.
Slick and the Family Brick. They clowned and Sly and the Family Stone. George Clinton called James Brown the godmother. They called Earth and Fire Earth, hot air, and no fire. They said Barry who when talking about Barry White. Clowning. That was the band dynamic. And within the band dynamic and the group dynamic lies a battle culture. And this is how we're going to close it out today. I was watching something, interview with Ray Daniels. Salute to Ray Daniels and D1. Not so much D1, but salute to Ray Daniels. I like Ray Daniels. I know I once did a video talking about something that he said, but I like Ray Daniels because he's giving up the game. But Ray Daniels and them was talking, and D1 had a thing where they're talking about we need to get rid of the battling. No. Battling is iron sharpening iron. And us as black people understanding that we can get up, like, it don't matter what somebody else say. We got thick skin. Shake that shit off and battle harder. The doo-wop groups battle under the street lights in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. The bands battled at school in the 1970s. And hip-hop battles in a cipher now. That's just a general line, a through line of black American culture. The battle is what makes you stronger. The battle is what makes you tighter. The battle is what makes you better. We understood that as black people, when we went out there into a diverse, non-black, outside of our segregated world, we had to be the best. But it was the battle that made us the best. And these are all cultural things, and these are all cultural phenomena that we must preserve. All right? Somebody said, Solar Records had Lakeside, The Whispers, and Shalimar in 1980, bruh. I know that's stupid, but what the fuck does that have to do with my point? God damn. How can people say bruh after saying something dumb? Yeah, bruh. Yeah, what the fuck you talking about? I know. Solar Records was right here in LA. Dick Griffey. Can-Am Studio, where Death Row recorded, was in the old Solar Records studio. You also forgot Foster Silvers, Leon Silvers, who produced The Whispers and songs like that. I know. The minute you hear those electric instruments, you're dealing with something that we didn't voluntarily subscribe to. We're dealing with something that the industry forced us to use. All those bands in the 70s were jobless by 1985. Most of the bands were jobless because we dealt with the music industry that wanted to disconnect the live sound from our vocal harmonies. And although we got good music in the 80s, it's not purely what we put out. I didn't say that there was no good music after 1970s, stupid. That's the thing, you dickheads y'all be listening with sausages in your ear. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I never said that there was no good music after 1979. So after 1979 is when we stopped producing music in a pure way, purely from how we produce music. I said after 1979, that's when our sound got compromised. And that's just a fact. Give a damn how you weak ass niggas feel about it. Niggas be emotional as hell. We're dealing with business here. See, what happened after people may ask, okay, what happened after 1979? What happened was, although you still had some independent black-owned labels, distribution got choked up in 77, 78, 79. Around the same time as the gas shortage. The economy had gotten bad. So labels like Motown had to sell their distribution to MCA. Gamble & Huff, they had to sell their distribution. So you still had some black labels, but the distribution was, they started tightening the one-stops. And y'all can go back and look at my interview with Dr. Logan Westbrooks. He breaks this down. Go look at my interview with Dr. Logan Westbrooks. I'm not just pulling stuff out my ass. I talked to the people who were there. All right? And what happened was when our distribution got put into those companies, the distributors started saying, we're only going to produce things with this sound. We're no longer, the labels, when they did get it, when they did sign us to major record label deals, they said, we're not going to fund live music. And my father-in-law told me flat out that some of his co-workers that were producers were told, if you produce a song with a live band, you'll never get work again. So black producers were forced to experiment. with these new sounds. I remember asking Mr. Carmichael how he felt about those sounds. I was like, well, y'all just, I was like, did y'all know what y'all were doing? He was like, nah, we were for the most part trying to figure it out as we went because we couldn't produce with live sounds anymore. This is one of Mr. Carmichael's biggest hits with when we start ushering in those newer sounds. Running in the Night was one of his biggest hits. And this is the song they started really pushing us using these synthetic sounds, but he layered it with live sounds. There was a shift at the time, and the distributors were asking for certain tempos, certain sounds. They also stopped funding, when you get past 1985, they stopped funding background singing. They took out the live drums, the live bass, made it electric. They took out the usage of cymbals. Cymbals break tension. There's a lot of chemistry that music is undergirded with, to where if you're not a musician and you didn't actually talk to these people who were recording in the 70s and the 80s do that transition, you better off shutting the fuck up and just listening to me. Because I'm talking to somebody who's spent years researching this shit, okay? I don't pull this out my ass. Only person, if you did the synthetic sound, yes. If I see people may say the synthetic sound sounds better than the real sound, but people also say McDonald's is better than Lori's prime rib. Just understand that if you are on the modern generation is programmed to the synthetic sound, to where you guys don't know what's the difference between good and bad. The synthetic sound you can literally akin to Burger King. That's why Drake sells so many records. That's Burger King music. And if you've only had Burger King your whole life, that's what you're conditioned to sounding and to hearing. But that Burger King is not going to give you the mental nutrients of the natural sound. You're going to get something that sounds like music, but you're not going to get music. Strings. What happens when you love somebody? They pull on what? Your heartstrings. That's why you need live strings. Horns. Fire element. The air element. Air and fire are matching elements. That's why Leos and Geminis go well together. Air and fire. Water and earth. Piano, drums, bass. That's water and earth. Air and fire is vocals and horns. Yeah, it's so watered down, people don't know can't tell the difference. And what's the cause and effect relationship? Just pay attention to the world that we live in. That's real talk, Cold Crush. And here's the end result. Here's the end result. What do we have now in music? You got niggas going around saying, I can't get any vibes from Drake. Ooh, we don't have summer vibes. We don't have vibes. That's the end result. You got grown-ass men 2 years later still mad at Kendrick because of a battle, something that's been happening since the beginning of fucking music, complaining about not having vibes. That's because when the motherfucker Drake was on top, he wasn't teaching you shit and wasn't giving you anything musically other than McDonald's and Burger King. And now here come Kendrick with a goddamn prime rib and some mashed potatoes and saying, eat this real fucking food. And y'all like, no, I want McDonald's. Look at the end result. We ain't even got a group of men that grew up loving a woman. They call, when you see the women music, niggas get there, like, think about it. If you under 30, if you under 35, all of the draws down music came from Drake. I mean, the young, they look at SZA as women's music because it's so segregated. We used to have women that could sing to us. The Jones Girls, Whitney Houston, Stephanie Mills. I remember growing up in South Central LA, Anita Baker was just as big, if not bigger, than Rodney O and Joe Cooley. When NWA dropped, you were just as likely to hear Miss Chalet or Shirley Murdoch or Anita Baker as you were to hear NWA. And there was more of a sense of community within us. Go back to when I interviewed Alonzo Williams from Worldwide Wrecking Crew. He always said that. And same thing with Egyptian Lover. He talked about this on his interview with Dr. Green Thumb. When you threw on Parliament Funkadelic, that always ended the fights. There were no fights in the club when Parliament is spinning because of the vibrations the live band gives you. That can't create an environment for fighting. You go to the club now, they fighting all the goddamn time. Alonzo Million said he said when they had them early hip hop parties in the 80s, when they had them early days of hip hop, whenever they were spinning records and it seemed like it was tension in the room and it was about to be a fight, they would put on Atomic Dog. They would put on Flashlight. Fight's over with. But what do we get? Dun 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 dun. Fight. You can see it. It's in the result. What do you have now? Not just now. What do you have the last 20 years when you go to the club? Going back to when the Sidekick 2 came out. Because I had a Sidekick 2. That shit was fun. But you don't get people dancing in the club. Think about it. People are talking about Drake having songs for the summer. But who the fuck dances to Drake? You might groove to Drake. But you ain't gonna dance to Drake. People don't dance. Men and women don't grind on each other in the club anymore. It's a direct result of the music. The music ain't giving people a reason to dance. The music ain't giving people a reason to dance. You ain't dancing.
Got an ego twice the size of the crib. I can never tell a shit, it is what it is.
Just flat and square. And what do you get when that's on in the club?
I had to and did what I did.
Niggas is scrolling. That's the end result. Everything I say checks out, just in our reaction to the music. Versus when this came on in the club. Chat room, did y'all just hear the difference? Was that enough? Was that enough? One sound is going to get you to pull your phone out and scroll and look at other niggas. The other sound's going to be like, nah, fuck that shit. Ugh. For you Omega niggas out there. There's a direct connection between the music and how we react to it. We talk as a community, we talk at each other, not to each other. Because the music is no longer a conversation. So what I'm saying checks out in our behavior. We don't move anymore because the music is not compelling us to move. We don't come together because the music isn't compelling us to come together. But what is the music compelling us to do? Compete? I got more hoes and clothes than you. I got more money than you. Just vibes. And what's the end result? You can't even have a decent music conversation anymore. That's right, Tammy. Not only you heard it, you felt it. Right. Right. Play your greatest Drake club banger. The best. Let's take Drake's top 10 club songs and put them next to club songs of the 70s in front of neutral audiences and see who gets up and dances. So yeah, some of y'all may say, okay, yeah, the other sounds better. Yeah, that's because you're conditioned to McDonald's. And that's fine. My big ass, I can't really eat fast food no more, but when I did, and that's more so because, man, that shit don't be coming out right no more. Health ain't the reason why I stopped eating fast food. I couldn't shit right. But up until then, but if I eat McDonald's, I know I'm eating McDonald's. I'm not saying, damn, this Big Mac tastes good. It's the best burger ever. Look at the Big Mac. It got the special cheese, lost and set onions, and look at the sign. They sold 1 billion Big Macs. How many Tomahawk prime ribs did they sell? Way more Big Macs sell than Tomahawk prime rib. So the Big Mac must be better. Look, it tastes good too. Num num num. Oh, nigga, I'm eating a bullshit ass Big Mac because I like the way it tastes. I'm not gonna be no fool and say it's better than a Tomahawk prime rib. The fuck kind of fool would I be if I said some shit like that? Were they both beef? Well, it's a big difference between a Big Mac beef patty and a Tomahawk prime rib. You're right. Fake boobs, fake booty, fake music, and now black men got fake ass hairlines. I'm disappointed in black men. You niggas be going around with these fake. Niggas is sitting in the barbershop chair these days getting extensions put in their dreads. Think about that. Drake has a BBL. One of the biggest songs, BBL Drizzy. Niggas getting fake calf muscles. Thinking about the quality of men these days. Niggas is getting hair implants. I grew up in a day we used to talk about women for wearing weaves. We used to talk about women for having fake eyelashes and fake nails. Now the men got fake weaves. Just a totally different set of values. Fake beards, right. In the age of this fake music, we got fake ass men with weaves. Please. Please. Music inspires an action or not. And when you're dealing with music done after 1980, that's when we lost control of how our music is produced. And the end result is what we see happening every day today. Arguments over music, not conversations. Men talking about I want some vibes. We see the result in how society is. You can't blame this generation for not dancing. I was in the club about a month ago with some of y'all Gen Zers and Z-Lineals, the under 30 crowd. I was in the club and no, nobody was dancing. But I didn't blame them. I'm not going to be one of them old niggas talking about something. Look at these kids. They don't dance. Look at it. What's wrong with these kids? They don't dance. I'm listening to the music and like, well, the music ain't giving them a reason to dance. That's why they're not dancing. Simple. Even when they did go to the electric sound, you still had great electric dance music. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. This shit come on, you gonna dance. That compels you to dance. That compels you to dance. This doesn't.
Like I'm in the military. I'm free up all my niggas locked up in the penitentiary.
Future in the that what does that do? What does that's not gonna motivate you to dance.
Broski. If and I need a Kango, 60 minutes charging $1,500K for a song. I done ran a million.
That's not gonna. That's played in the club. You may like it. So he said, "No, that was hard." No. That's the thing. When you dance with a woman, you don't want to be hard. You don't want to be acting hard. Hard make you fight another man. You want to be the other kind of hard, meaning music that's gonna make you grind up on a woman. Please, right? That shit sound like depression. And this isn't me talking as an old nigga. This is me going into the clubs and watching behavior. It was also my generation too. They stopped making good dance music in the early 2000s. When that Lil Wayne syrup lean era come in, that's when people really stopped dancing with each other. I remember one of the hottest songs in the club was this. This is played every night in the club.
Like a cop call.
That's a vibe. But you ain't gonna dance to it. Another popular song when I was in the club. You know what we was doing when this song came on when I was in the clubs? We standing in bottle service. We standing on the couch, holding up a bottle, doing this. Wasn't nobody saying, "Hey, come over here." Wasn't nobody grinding no woman when it came to that. Made a whole bunch of asexual music. It sounded good. It was a bop. But wasn't nobody dancing to that. Now, people did dance when Soulja Boy dropped. That Soulja Boy song made people dance. The music compels an action. And that action is just watch the end result and how we react and deal with one another in society. You can bring it back to the music. But I'm about to do a Twitter space in 2 hours at 7 o'clock Pacific time. We're doing a Twitter space. We're going to be talking more about this music and all that good stuff. All right? And if y'all want to talk about this, follow me on Twitter at DewanB1. We're going live at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk more about this music, all right? Donate to the foundation. We out. You're right. No more baby making jams either. Now you got men stomping women in the head. Because it ain't no more genuine fucking love music. It's fucking music. But ain't no love music. Ain't really no fucking music like that either, honestly. But yeah, TikTok, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, all right? We out.